Hey there, Knolly Williams here, your success coach, and I've got a question that I want you to start thinking about. And the question is, what is disobedience costing you? Just ask yourself, what is my disobedience costing me? You know, years ago, the Lord blessed me to start my very first company, my first real company. I'd been an entrepreneur for years before that, but when I was about 23, I started my first real company, and it was a record label. I'd raised money from family and friends. I gathered together $1,800 to start that record company, and God blessed it. I mean, month after month, little by little. It was a struggle at first, you know, and it was a struggle for many years actually. But little by little, it started making revenue. Started blessing people. Started doing what it needed to do, and within a couple of years, we were at the point where my wife and I were at the point where we decided to buy our first home. And the first home that we decided to buy was a very large house. It was very big, 6,000 square feet. And it was to house not just us, but our complete record label with our staff, employees, everything. And so God, you know, it was really quite a miracle. How God found us the property. I came up with I sat down and sketched out the vision for what I wanted, what it would look like, and then lo and behold, a property we found on the market came up just exactly like the vision that God had given me. And so we bought the property, and I remember when I was in the house for about maybe less than a year. I was there, and I was in my office one day. And I was, you know, I don't know if I was in quiet time, but I distinctly heard from the Lord, you know, not an audible voice, but I heard in my heart very specifically a command that you are to pay off this house. You're to pay off this property. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I got a 30-year mortgage. I'm going to pay it off one day. And it's like, no, you're going to pay this house off within the next few years. And I said, okay. And this was in 1997, okay? So we bought the house in 1996. This was in about 1997 that I had this sort of epiphany vision, if you will. And it was very, very clear, very, very clear mandate. And so I promised to the Lord, I said, Lord, if you bless me, if you give me the means to pay off this property, your property, this is yours. If you give me the means to do it, I'll do it. I'll make a promise to you right here, right now, right today, that I will do that, okay? Now, have you ever made a promise to the Lord? Have you ever made a promise that you haven't kept? Are you not keeping a promise right now that you've made to Him? You know, so this was I was 27 years old, and I had no way in sight that I was going to be able to pay off this house, okay? The mortgage that we owed was over $300,000. And I didn't have the money. I mean, we were making good money, but I mean, every penny of it was going out. And just 2 years later, fast forward 2 years later, the Lord brought us an incredible opportunity. A gentleman called, and I remember my manager, my office manager came in. He says, hey, there's a guy on the phone for you named Eddie DeGarmo. I said, well, Eddie DeGarmo, that sounds like the guy that owns Forefront Records. He said, yeah, that's him. That's the guy. So I got on the phone with him, and he said, Knolly, I just love what you're doing. We've been following you for several years, and we want to offer you a distribution deal. And this was with EMI Capital, largest distribution company in the world at the time for Christian music. And it was really a dream come true. It was an amazing opportunity. And when everything kind of came together pretty quickly, and this was in, this was in 1999 that we signed that deal. So just 2 years later, you know, from 2 years after I had no clue whatsoever how God was going to bring me the fortune to pay off this home, He brought it. You know, we signed with EMI. It was a very quick courtship. We signed the papers. They gave me a $350,000 initial advance with another $300,000 on the back of it. So they gave me $650,000 to sign. Now, it wasn't a bonus. It was an advance. It was a loan against future earnings. And I remember when I got that $350,000 deposit, I actually got a physical check. Even took a copy of the check because I'd never seen a check that big. And it was a check that they overnighted. And I took a copy of the check. And I remember the bank put a hold on it, of course, for some time. And I remember, and the thought had not come back to me at this point, but I remember distinctly hearing the voice again of the Lord. It says, there's the money. Remember that promise? There's the money right there. Pay off the house. And I'm thinking like, wait a minute, man, I got all these plans and ideas, because as we were negotiating the deal with EMI, I had all kinds of ideas and plans and dreams and goals and vision for how to expand the company. We're going to build a studio on the property. We want to build an office building. We had a lot of ideas. And so I was like, well, Lord, let's get back to that, because that money's earmarked. He said, no. That's the money that I gave you to pay off your house. And I don't know where it was that I got off track with disobedience, but I disobeyed. I didn't follow God's mandate. Okay, I didn't follow His command, and I used the money for something else. And I gotta tell you, that was in 1999 that happened, and by 2003, I was walking away from that house penniless, with no money whatsoever. Yes, I got $650,000 from EMI, but the Lord knew that around 2001 or so, MP3 was coming out. It wasn't even on my radar, but God knew that MP3 was coming, and He knew that when the MP3 format, when digital downloads became widely available, our little business was going out. I didn't know that. I was like, man, I'm rolling. I got a 20-year run on this deal. But God knew better, and I was disobedient, and I ended up leaving with my tail tucked between my legs and losing everything. A multi-million-dollar business reduced to ashes because of an emerging disruptive technology that came out. And here's the thing, guys, that I wanted to tell you. God allowed me a second opportunity, a second chance. And this was just about 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, actually. God gave me another opportunity to pay off my home, okay? And this time, I took it. But here's the disparity. When I first was able to pay off my home, I was 29 years old. The second time that opportunity came around, I was 45. So I was in timeout for over 15 years, just close to 16 years in timeout because of a bad decision. That's like going to college 4 times in a row, okay? And the thing is, Father knows best. Daddy knows best. When you hear a word from the Lord, when God has prompted you to do something, do it. Don't disobey. Don't be like the prodigal son that went off to the far country. Just obey. Just say, you know what? Daddy knows best. I don't know nothing. Because there are things that are on the radar that you cannot see. And that's why you have to stay in tune with the Lord, stay in tune with the Spirit, stay in tune with the voice of God. And when He tells you to do something, do it. I want you to think about, what is disobedience costing you? What is it costing your family? What is it costing your loved ones? And what is it costing those that are waiting for you to be God to them? Okay? There are people that are looking for God. They're looking for you to show up to be God for them in their life. You are the arms, the legs, the fingers, the toes of God. You have the mind of God, and you've been equipped to do a specific work. So just be thinking about that. Don't let disobedience stand in the way of you doing what you were put on this realm to do. God bless you. I love you. And I wish you peace. And I wish you much obedience in whatever it is that God has fashioned, equipped, and commanded you to do. See, when God asks you to do something, it's really not a suggestion. It's a command. And we are to be obedient children, not disobedient children. God bless you. I love you. And I'll see you on the next one. If you liked it, share it with someone you love. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And check out my Mentorship Masters free coaching program where I'm able to sow into you at no charge. I love you, and I'll see you next time.